What do you think about Usyk versus Tyson Fury this fight?
I'm gonna look forward to that fight. That's gonna be an interesting fight. I'm going towards Tyson Fury because I think he's just gonna overpower him. He's gonna catch up with him and overpower him. That's what I think. I could be wrong.
He's not gonna get the fat Tyson Fury. He's gonna get the focus, guy that don't have a belly, don't have love handles. He's ready, focused, and willing.
I think to analyse this properly, this is the best opponent that Tyson's been up against. But, Tyson's got a lot more advantages than Usyk in size. He can box and he can punch as well. So, Tyson on his A form should come through this fight and be undisputed champion.
The undisputed World Heavyweight Championship title clash between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk is quickly approaching, making it one of the biggest fights of the year. The boxing community is fascinated with making predictions. The fight's winner has already been predicted by some of the best names in heavyweight boxing, and it appears that the Gypsy King is the clear favorite. The disputed victory over Francis Ngannou in the previous year hasn't helped the current WBC World Heavyweight Champion Fury's form. Not only did the Gypsy King perform poorly against the former heavyweight champion of the UFC, but he was also unsuited for the match. But he has been working out hard in preparation for this battle with Usyk, and he recently displayed his amazing
jump. 5. Brilliant. Off you go, nice controlled. Right the way down. Average, right the way down. Come on, that's better. Building those quads, come on.
GK does it. Easy and nice. Like sugar and spice.
He even used Instagram to display his extremely well-toned body.
Perfect. Straight to the camera. Perfect. Hold that.
The Gypsy King's hard training for this bout has thrilled the fans, who are also praising his new appearance. A lot of people think he can beat Usyk in this much-awaited match. The Gypsy King appears prepared for this clash, but the boxer from Ukraine is not far behind. Fans have seen snippets of his intense training regimen, and he has also been ready for this bout for a considerable amount of time. Here's a comparison of the training schedules for the two combatants. Fans will be in for a treat when these two eventually don boxing gloves on fight night, as you just witnessed. Both fighters have been putting in a lot of effort in the gym. The two boxers have also discussed the bout, and Usyk recently sent his opponent an intriguing note. Take a peek.
Hey, my friend, don't be afraid. I will not leave you alone.
What does that even mean? Don't be afraid, I won't leave you alone.
The two have been quite courteous and playful in their build-up to the battle. The Gypsy King is well known for his verbal attacks and attempt to get inside his opponent's brain. But his most recent interview caught us off guard when, while discussing the clash with Usyk, he showed respect for the man.
Oleksandr Usyk then, I mean, he's a southpaw, he's tricky, a lot of other guys find him very, very tricky. There's no blueprint really on how to beat him because he's unbeaten. Are you expecting a tricky fight?
Tricky, not so much, because he's a boxer and he can't trick me on anything. But Usyk's a bad man. You know, he's a real bad man. And any underestimation of Oleksandr Usyk, you'd be a mug. So I'm training hard for him, I'm doing everything I can. I respect Usyk as a man. because he's a God-fearing family man, which I am myself. So I respect that more than any boxing achievement. And I respect his career as well. He's been Olympic champion. He's had 350 amateur fights or something. And he's been an undisputed cruiserweight champion. And he's been a unified heavyweight. Well, he is a unified heavyweight champion. So you have to respect that. I'm not fighting some guy who's had 14 and won 11. You know, I'm fighting the real deal as Holyfield. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to the challenge. You know, he's a southpaw. He's got good footwork, so they say, and he's got good boxing ability, and technically he's sound. He's proved he can mix it with the big heavyweights because he's beat Joshua and Dubois. They're pretty big heavyweights. So yeah, it's their. I'm messing with an elite fighter who's got more than boxing ability, and more than that, he's stubborn and he wants to win like I do. So when it comes down to that, and I think all of that aside, like all of the talents and the attributes of each fighter, we both have talent, we both have good attributes and bad attributes, and it will come down to who wants it the most on the night. It won't come down to, oh, he's bigger than me, he's smaller than me, this, that and the other. I think it will come down to who wants it the most on the night. And if he wants it more than me, then he'll win. And if I want it more than him, I'll win. But either way, I think we're in for a real treat. Real treat.
Fury acknowledges that Usyk and himself are both hungry, and that either boxer may prevail in this bout. Here's what he had to say when questioned about facing this battle as a southpaw.
Probably, I'll be switching up, I always do.
But against Derek Chisora, 2014, the rematch, you did the whole fight in southpaw and he couldn't get to grips with you.
Yeah, Chisora's a lot more one-dimensional than Usyk, though. Usyk is a slick guy, isn't he? And I say more one-dimensional. He is, because we know what Chisora's going to do. Come forward, bob and weave and swing over the top, back to the body. We saw him have a great fight with Usyk. It was a real close fight.
You said at the time you thought he beat him.
I thought he beat him, or at least deserved to draw, but he lost it by a couple of rounds, which you can't complain. Yeah. You know, one man is undefeated on the rise, and one man was, I don't know, had 10 losses or something. So they give it to the man who was undefeated. But yeah, I just think that my will and determination will be more than ease on the night.
In addition to thanking His Excellency Turki Alek for starting this conflict, the Dipsy King had a noteworthy discovery to share.
So, I'm actually going to give all the belts to Turki Al-Sheikh as a present from me to him to say thank you, every single one.
Tell me about your relationship with His Excellency. Can you remember the first time that you met him, and have you ever met such a big boxing fan?
I met him for the first time last year, it was, yeah. I spoke to him on the phone, and then actually meeting him in reality. I met him down in London in a hotel room. Just such a down-to-earth, lovely guy, you know, massive boxing fan, loves boxing. And to have someone so influential with so much power and movement in the game is awesome. For someone like him, a government sector to be pushing boxing in world boxing is absolutely fantastic. And I've said it many times, if Turkey didn't come for me to take me to Saudi, then I would be retired by now. And I don't know what I'd be doing, but I definitely wouldn't be bringing massive conferences to Morecambe Bay and whatever else. So we do have a good relationship. We have a good working relationship and a good personal relationship, and he checks up on me from time to time, and so do I with him. And it's good, you know. And like I say, I was the first person to open the door to like Seller in boxing over there this time. And to have someone who's so genuine, so straight, and everything they say to deliver, it's absolutely fantastic. It's beautiful, you know. And he's a massive boxing fan, so all these fights that fans want to see, he has the ability like that to make these fights happen, hence the reason they're happening. And we've all seen how hard fights are to make over the years. For one reason or the other, it usually comes down to dough, being honest, why these fights don't happen. And now, he's the paymaster, so he can literally put on whatever he wants. He could put Mike Tyson versus Isaac Lowe. He could bring Lennox Lewis back out of retirement to fight a rematch with Vitaly Klitschko.
Or maybe even fight Tyson Fury.
Anybody, yeah. He could literally, he could make Klitschko versus Usyk. He could make any fights happen. Well, there's a will, there's a way, and this man has got a lot of vision, so big moves are happening, and the fights that I've been told about that nobody knows about are very exciting. and big moves in boxing.
Would you tell me in this interview?
No, definitely not.
Therefore, if the Saudas had not approached the Gypsy King to host the fight, he probably would have retired. That he has such high regard for His Excellency is therefore not surprising. But let's look at the fight's odds now.
I think Usyk will win. Okay. Yeah. But you're a bit not declined to answer it, but before you didn't really answer that question.
I've always said, I don't know if I always said it, but I think Usyk will win. I think Usyk will win, yeah.
Who do you want to win?
It's a great question. Probably Fury, logically, because it's a bigger fight. That's if he fights me. He always says he doesn't want to fight, but it's a bigger fight for me down the line if he wins. But yeah, that's the only reason I'll say Fury, for my own benefit, for my own selfish reasons.
Finally, Jamie, I'll not keep you any longer. Just wanted to ask you about the biggest fight in boxing really at the minute, Fury Usyk. How do you see that going, and do you see potential kind of a round robin with Joshua now back up to somewhere near his best as well?
I'm all in for Joshua and Fury. So I want Fury to beat Usyk. I think he does beat Usyk. I think a good big one will always be a good little one. But Usyk is an enigma. No one has figured it out at this moment in time. He's been brilliant. He has been brilliant. But I think Fury is so unpredictable that he'll have the keys to the plan.
Fury's size is what makes him, I think, gain more success and stuff like that. When I see him and Usyk, I see how they cheated Cunningham with that clubbing. He laid his weight on him and then he grabbed him and clubbed him and stuff. I can see him doing the same thing with Usyk, putting his weight on him and stuff like that. I do think Usyk has more skill, but when it comes to the size and stuff, I don't think Usyk will be able to compete with the size or the hanging and stuff. But who knows? You know, that's just my opinion.
If I'm objective, I would say Tyson Fury. Speaking of myself, I would still say Tyson Fury. Obviously, I'm not counting Usyk out. I know he can win this fight. He has a very good chance, maybe even. But I still go for Tyson, and I still want him to win.
I think Tyson Fury wins the fight. I mean, it all depends on if what we saw in the Ngannou fight was just him not taking it seriously, or if it was him in decline, he's going to have a tough night against Usyk. I think he's going to be too big in that fight. If he's switched on, if he trains properly, which you'd expect him to do and be, I expect him to win. But you can't rule out Oleksandr Usyk. It's a tremendous heavyweight clash, another massive fight in Saudi Arabia, and great for the heavyweight division and great for boxing that we're seeing that undisputed fight.
Yeah, I picked Usyk to beat Fury. I remember when Usyk first moved up to heavyweight, I said he's a dark horse, don't write this guy off. We've seen cruiserweights move up to heavyweight and dominate in previous years, and it did seem a bit unfathomable for a lot of people that he's never going to compete with the Anthony Joshuas, or people weren't even really talking about Tyson Fury, I don't think, quite at the time, or maybe he just sort of burst back on the scene beating Wilder. But I still think Usyk beats him. I think the argument is a good big un beats a good little un, but I think Usyk is an exceptional fighter. I think in terms of their boxing ability, Usyk is a lot better.
Still leaning towards Fury. I'm not saying it with any sort of air of confidence, because like I said, you can make an argument for Usyk winning the fight, but at this stage my mind hasn't really swayed too much. We're about a week out from the fight, and it may change again as we get closer, and I suppose once to see what the guys are like and what they're saying on fight week, that may change my mind, but just edging Fury.
As you just witnessed, most boxing experts predict that the Gypsy King will prevail in this match. Yet they largely think that the WBC heavyweight champion won't have an easy time winning, and that the bout may go the full distance. Tyson Fury is already favored by Lennox Lewis to become the next unchallenged heavyweight boxing champion. 2.5 decades ago, legend overcame Evander Holyfield to become the last undisputed heavyweight champion. He talked about how excited he was about the battle and how he felt a connection to it during the conversation.
When I was trying to be undisputed heavyweight champion, it wasn't easy for me. I had to do it twice. They didn't believe it the first time. And, I got it done. And then, being so many years undisputed, it makes me feel great that it's been so long. So, records are there to be broken. And for me, after the undisputed fight, we're gonna have to see how long, they're gonna be undisputed champion.
He also shared his thoughts on how Usyk needs to approach this fight.
I think he knows what he needs to do. This man is a champion. I mean, he's undisputed at a lower weight class. Now he's moved up to the higher weight class, and he hasn't lost yet. So he's a winner, and I'm sure he's got a plan, out there, because he wouldn't step in the fight unless he had a plan. And we're gonna have to see how his plan plays out.
Look, it's like I say, you know these sort of weights and the difference between moving up from cruiserweight to heavyweight, because you experienced that with Evander Holyfield. Is it an easy transition for Oleksandr Usyk? I mean, I know we saw him beat Anthony Joshua a couple of times. But, and he won them fights, and he won them convincingly, actually. But, like, against Tyson Fury, he's a much bigger guy, and he's going in there. He is the world champion as well. Does that make a difference?
Makes a big difference. I mean, Tyson Fury is no easy fight for anybody. He's elusive, he moves well, he boxes from both sides. For any boxer, it's gonna take a while to figure out. Also the height difference is a problem. 6'9", it's not an easy, it's not an easy fight for anybody.
Lewis still has faith in Usyk's ability to defeat Fury, despite cautioning him that it won't be an easy task. Evander Holyfield, Lewis's opponent, has a great deal of respect for Usyk and revealed something intriguing about the Ukrainian champion.
He's a good fighter. He's a very good fighter, and and Usyk, I'm Usyk is amazing. I'm like, because I met him early when he told me himself that he was gonna do exactly what I done. He said, I'm gonna win the cruiserweight, then I'm gonna go to heavyweight, and he been doing that. And so I think that he's one of the guys that, when it come down to boxing skills, he very skillful and he very determined. And so it's going to be a great fight.
The two legendary boxers have intriguing viewpoints regarding this matchup. It's fantastic to watch how these two boxing legends regard this match as a rematch of their battle from more than 20 years ago. And Legs Lewis, the last unchallenged champion, thinks Fury will win. Oleksandr Usyk was selected by Evander Holyfield to win this fight because of his outstanding skills, technical proficiency, quickness, and agility. Now that both sides have traveled to Saudi Arabia for this fight, it will be intriguing to watch who prevails on fight night. Just 4 days remain before this thrilling matchup, so both sides had to stake their claims to the conditions. As soon as both teams touched down in Riyadh, supporters were welcomed with even more drama. John Fury, Tyson's father, raised a commotion by headbutting a member of Oleksandr Usyk's camp furious. The latest incident was predicted because the elder has a notorious habit for inciting controversy before his son's high-profile conflicts. Having not been present for the altercation, Tyson Fury looked shocked and ashamed to see his father bleeding from the forehead.
From the forehead.
Fury! Fury!
Fans are definitely in for a treat as the excitement leading up to this battle seems to be building. We'll let you guess who will prevail in this bout. It's unclear how these two unbeaten boxers will approach the biggest match of their careers. Who do you predict to win this match? Will the Gypsy King continue to go unbeaten and solidify his legacy as a boxing great? Tell us in the comments below. All of that for now. I hope you had fun viewing this. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you around.